why I'm going over this again is because although my video was pretty handy on the melody building parts of that video, they're pretty handy and they actually do work. But there's also another way on building and making melodies with the Volca sample, because as you already know, the Volca sample, there's no way of playing your samples chromatically like on a keyboard. So what you really have to do is, lay out your steps, and then you go back to each step and you can adjust like the pitch for each step. And that's actually what I went over in that last video. But in this video here, which is like the second part to that, is to kind of correct, but yet also show you another way of building your melodies. Because not only can you adjust the pitch for each step, but you can actually adjust the notes too, which is different from the pitch. You actually adjusting the notes is actually a little bit you have more space to develop better melodies, because they're the actual notes. So, but with here, what's displayed on the display is actually not the note itself, like D, A, or C, or anything like that. It's actually note 1, note 2, note 3. So you have to like understand like where your note's gonna be or how it's gonna be played. So if you set your sample like at 0, the pitch speed at 0, then I believe you're going to start like at middle C, I think it is, and then from note 1 is going to go up, and then if you go negative, then it's going to go negative way on each note, like on a keyboard. So you have to understand that too. So I'm not going to go into that, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So let's dive in. I already have everything set up. I have a sample here. It's not playing. Here's my sample. So I have a bass sample here. So let's go ahead and put some steps in. So we're in step mode. We'll just go ahead and throw some steps in. See how that sounds. Okay, so those are the steps. Now the speed is set at 0 for each one. So you want to make sure that. And also turn on your motion sequence. Okay? So now what I showed before, I believe, was like holding down the record button, and then then you select your step. First you select it, then it turns off, then you have to select it again, and then you can make adjustments here. But as you can see, it just shows numbers and negative numbers. So then let's see, I put that on 5. The pitch is on 5. Turn that off. Now I think it'll be different. Oh, yeah, that's right, because if it's the last note, so if it's the last note, I had to go and make adjustments on the other ones too. So make that -7. So let's check it out now. So you could do that, adjusting the speed or the pitch. But that's what I showed in the last video. But you could actually do it adjusting the notes. So we're going to get into that. And instead of pressing the record button, you're actually going to be holding down the function button. So that's pretty much the difference. But function button is actually used for the different functions. Like for here, if I'm holding down function and I select this key, then it's going to clear my motion sequence. Or if I hold down function and press this key, this function right here is to clear all on the patterns. So it's kind of tricky. So you have to actually hold down the key first, and then you press function, and then you'll be able to get your step. I'm going to put motion sequence on. I'll lay down some steps. Wait a minute, make sure this is at 0. Then I lay down some steps. There's my steps. So now, don't press function first. First hold your key, then press function. Key, function, key, function. Now play. It also sounds better because it's actually kind of like you're playing the real keyboard, playing keyboard notes. So adjusting the notes is actually sounds a little bit better. Now that you played your notes, then you could go in and then you could adjust your speed and your pitch of the notes, since you already have them laid out. So we could go like this. I'm just gonna do. Now I could adjust the pitch, make that a little higher. And always don't forget, you need motion sequence on to make this sound right. Without motion sequence on, it's going to sound like that, and you're going to be making all these adjustments, and it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to hear it because motion sequence isn't on. So you turn it on. So there you have it. So you can actually adjust the notes like playing on a real keyboard, but you have to, put in the notes itself with the dial, holding down the buttons, a little tricky. And then after that, then when you hold down the record button plus your buttons, then you could go ahead and adjust the speed or the pitch on each one. So there's how to actually really do it, building like melody parts on the Volca Sample, since you don't have a chromatic keyboard to play your samples with. So I wanted to go over that. My last video was helpful, but for this second part, this actually goes into how you can actually lay down notes each step at a time. It's a little tricky because you have to hold down your buttons, and don't forget the function button has other functions for the keyboard, so don't press function first and then the key. You want to hold down the key first, then function, and then make your adjustment. And as you make your adjustment, your key will light back up. And that's how you do it. So the Volca Sample is really, even though it's small, and you may not have all these crazy things to do with it, for what it does have that you could adjust with, and make your samples, turn your samples basically into music, for what it does have is pretty good. It's a nice little box, it's inexpensive, and it's been out for a few years now, and people still like it. So. And you have your Analogue Isolator. And that Analogue Isolator, it's an analog isolator, so it's analog, and it really adds to the digital sampling main part of the Volca Sample. Having that is a big plus. So having those two in this little box, under 200 bucks, it's pretty good. This box is really cool. So I just wanted to go over that again. Actually that you can adjust the notes, and then you could go and you could adjust your pitch and speeds to make melody parts with the Volca Sample. So you can actually get a lot done with this box. So thanks. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, because I will be having some more posts coming up in the end of the year and into the new year, with some new gear and stuff that I'll be getting. And yeah, so this is Topazzle. Thanks for checking out Tempo Element. I'll catch you later.